Welcome back to Zakima's Ridge Homestead. In tonight's video, we're going to fix an issue we're having with our Paslode Impulse nailer. So stick around and let's get some work done.
Hello, and welcome to our channel. We're glad you're here.
Alright, a while back we had an issue with the nailer that when it would fire a single nail, the actuator rod that drives the nail down would not retract. If I took a piece of rod, I could shove it back in there, it would fire another nail, then again it wouldn't retract. It hadn't been cleaned in forever. I was out of the cleaner and I was out of the oil, so I couldn't even tell you honestly when the last time the nailer was cleaned. So I got the cleaner and the oil, disassembled it the other night, cleaned it, went to use it yesterday, and same issue. It would fire a nail and not retract. At the bottom, there is a rubber bumper. This is what the new one looks like. And this is what mine looked like. Just hard and broken. When I brought it back in the house last night to check it, I was going to try and clean it again. And when I took it apart, little tiny pieces of basically of this material were falling out the front of it. So I've got the new rubber bumper. We'll go ahead and install that tonight. Hopefully this will fix it. All right, here's our Impulse nailer. It's an older model, so it's one of the more original designs. It's already been disassembled, so I'll just take everything loose because it's already been taken apart here. At the bottom of this housing is where this rubber piece goes. So we need to get this down inside of there. I'm not sure if there's a procedure for that or not, but I'm going to try putting a little bit of the oil on it, so hopefully it slides down in there. Because when I called we have a local place that does tool repairs, and I called them to see if they may have this piece in stock. I ended up getting it off of Amazon because they didn't. When I told him the part I needed, he's like, "Oh, I never have to change those. You sure that's the problem?" And then when I described the issue to him, obviously he knew it was. But yeah, he said they're very difficult to get out, which of course mine wasn't because it was in multiple pieces. I mean, so far it's dropping right down in there. Oh, it was pretty easy. It looks to be down in there all the way. I think you can see down in there. There it is, all the way in the bottom. And you can see here the bottom of it through this bottom hole as well. So it looks to be pretty well level down in there, like it's in all the way. And if not, I'm sure the first time you fire the nail gun, it'll seat it with the rod. So now we'll put this back together. Got all the parts I took out of it in a bag here. I guess the fun part would be remembering how to put all this together. Okay, I do know these little rubber pieces went here. Should be 2 of those. This piece went on like that, and these 2 springs went here and here. I think those maybe got spread a little bit from being taken out. That piece goes on there. And these, I think I might have this on backwards. I do know that these barrel pieces drop down in this hole. And this goes here. So that has to go there, which means, yes, this goes on this side, the way I had it. Squeeze that in just a little bit because it's sticking out. Yeah, that's better. And now we can put our springs in here, like so. I know this little block with the two screws goes underneath here. This piece here goes doesn't seem to want to fit correctly. There went my springs. That's because I had that piece on backwards. There, now we're fitting. So that piece has to go with the dip inside the aluminum, not outside. There was two springs, by the way.
On the floor?
Well, somewhere. Yeah, that one's right there by the cat.
I almost stepped in it. The cat had the other one.
Yeah, that piece lays on there, over top of the holes. This piece goes on top of that. And the two short screws go through all three plates into that bottom plate. Probably a deer in the driveway, making that ding-dong sound. Or an owl flying by. So we'll tighten these up. There we go. Put our springs back in since. There. So that's how that works. This is what you push down on to activate it, and adjusting this will adjust how deep it will shoot your nail. So we've got all of that on there. We can stick this piece back on. Well, before we do that, let's put a little bit of oil on this O-ring. Okay, now we can stick this piece back on. And it only goes one way because it's got a cutout for the exhaust muffler. This side doesn't have it. And then these two rods go through here to hold this together as a unit. Come on. There we go. So those go through there like that on both sides. Now this whole assembly goes inside of the main case. This slot is for that to exhaust through. So that goes in there like that. Now this plate, well, doggone it, I can't put that on with this on there. I'll have to take the nail guide thing back off. It was hunt and peck method last night, taking this thing apart as well, so unfortunately I didn't pay very good attention to what I did. Take that off. This can go on here like that. Then we have the 3 medium length screws with lock washers. And this holds that entire aluminum housing into this plastic housing. We'll tighten this up. Okay, those are all snug. I'll get them tight. Now we'll slide that back down. Put this back on. The adjustability I was talking about is here. You can kind of hear it clicking. There's teeth on the bottom of this and on the top of this that kind of lock together. So down here would be a flush, up here is deep. I think I was right about there from the mark that's on it. Okay, we can snug those 2 up. May have to adjust that in the field. Now we've got, this is the plunger I was talking about that would come out and not retract. I believe what happens is the bottom of this, when it strikes the nail, this comes down and hits that rubber bumper, and the force of hitting the rubber bumper bounces this back. I'm not sure if that's exactly how it works, but I think that's how it works. So we'll put some oil on this piston. It has 2 compression rings, kind of like a car cylinder would have. We will stick this down in there. There we go. Yep, it is lined up. Tap it down in there, and there's how it rides in the track. So when it fires a nail, that pushes down and shoots the nail out, and then it bounces back and retracts. So inside of here, we have a snap ring that goes in this groove right here. We'll get this snap ring in. Okay, after fighting that for a few minutes, I finally got it to go in there. So there's our snap ring on top of our piston. Now the piston has a nice smooth travel down. We'll put a little bit of oil around inside of there, a couple drops on each side. We'll work this piston up and down a couple times. Okay, we'll bring it up. Now it's time to put her back together. We will bring the main gun back over. Lay this down with the slot for that exhaust down on the table. Now we want to take our fan and carefully stick the fan inside of there without catching it on anything. Bring the main body of this over like that. Now we can flip it over and take our 2 medium length screws that do not have washers, and they go hang on a second. There we go. We were kind of jammed up a little bit, and these two barrels weren't sticking through there. So we'll stick our fan back in carefully, pop that back down. Now we can stick these 2 screws in the front. If you haven't figured out by now, I'm not a professional tool repair person. Quit laughing. I do repair things professionally, but not hand tools. Okay, we'll snug these down. There we go. There we go. Now this should push up and down, which it does. And when that happens, that inner piece slides up and down onto this piece that has a fan on it and seals around the fan, and it injects the propellant and does the combustion inside that chamber. So now we can take our fan housing and stick it on the back, put our last 4 bolts in, tighten these up. Cleaning procedure for this is similar to what we just did, but you don't have to take the aluminum section out of the plastic. You take this section off the handle section, you put oil on the O-ring like I did, and you put oil down in that cylinder like I did, and work the piston up and down after spraying it out with cleaner, of course. And then you spray the fan section off and put a couple drops of oil on the like the fan shaft. And also, there's an O-ring there you put some oil on, which I just did last night. So we'll tighten these 4 up. That gets us fully assembled. So we can put our gas cartridge back in, lock it down, put our battery in. Got our blinking green light. I'll leave the nails out. Let me grab a piece of wood and we'll do a couple test fires. All right, grabbed a piece of firewood because that's the closest thing I had handy. Let's see if this thing works at all now. Nope, the nail thing kicked down. It's on wood. There it goes, it works. Paisley or sassafras. And you can see all 4 shots right into the wood. No nails, of course, but that appears to be working correctly. We'll take this out tomorrow on the project we're working on and see if we did fix it or not. I hope that helps. If you have an impasse or an impulse nailer that stops shooting, that maybe the issue you have is your little rubber bumper in the back is broken. Like I said, there was little pieces that came out. There was one on the counter earlier. I think I may have lost. Oh, here it is. This little flake here in my hand. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's what was falling out of the nose when I was taking it apart last night. Just these little flakes of that broken piece. The part number for it is a 404419 is the actual Paslode part number, and probably won't focus on that well enough to see. But I ordered it off of Amazon, so you just Google that part number I gave you, or Amazon at 404419, and it comes up with the correct one for these older ones. So hope that helped. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.